Welcome to Guitar Expert Secrets, where we help you navigate the noise and share only the essential tools and techniques needed for everyday players. It's really worth valuing the notes that we're using, whether it's a melody or whether it's a solo. And one of the best ways I've found to do this is, rather than rely on the chords to change and therefore make it more interesting, what I would suggest you try and do is stick to one single chord and then either improvise a melody on the guitar or vocally around that one chord. And what's really beneficial is to hit chord tones. So if we take A minor, instead of always coming back to an A, so a melody might meander and keep coming back to the A there, which is great, and there's every reason you should do that, so you get used to the cadence of, it's kind of like putting a full stop, like an ending to things. But take that A minor chord and pick a note that isn't A. So for example, let's pick the C note, which is here on the first fret of the second string. Now, believe it or not, that's going to sound just as comfortable and just as resolved if that is where our melody targets, either ends or starts. So on an A minor chord, hitting that C, and we don't have to change the chord around it. We can, and done well, the melody will be supported by the right chord. But what I want you to do is just play an A minor, just strum it or give it rhythm, doesn't really matter, you could pick it if you wanted. But when it comes to improvising, this note is home. We could have picked any other note in the chord, I've just picked that one for the sake of it. You could pick the baby open string. So I've put the A minor in the looper, so it sounds like this. So I'm just going to play around it and keep coming back to this C. There it is. And the ear soon gets used to the tension, right? So we're not relying on it going and coming back to an actual A. It's really good because I think it puts your mind in a different space. It puts the tension slightly off average. So we'd always expect it to be an A, but this gives us a value that we don't usually have. Okay, next level would of course be to look at the chords and maybe make the chords make more sense around it. But for now, just hum and improvise. If you're using a scale, pentatonic would be totally fine. Other than that, if you're using your voice, just be instinctive, but make sure that the C is where you're coming back to. It's an experimental thing, but also it's one of those musical stoicism things, you know, where the Stoics take things away to value what they've actually got. And this is a classic example. We're not relying on the chords to change to make a note sound interesting. We're valuing a different tension in the chord that we hang our melody from. It should give you hours of fun and enjoyment and creative inspiration, or it could drive you potty. Either way, you're very welcome, and I look forward to seeing the results. Thanks for listening. If you've enjoyed this podcast and want to keep in touch or want more info, then just visit guitarexpertsecrets.com.